Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Wednesdays at Noon. I'm your host, Shenik Luiz, and I'm on team with PunkinFutz. And we are so happy for everyone who will be watching this video and be watching this recording. As you might notice, you might recognize Iris from a previous episode. So we're so happy to have her back and now to be joined by Bonnie McRae. Welcome to Iris and Bonnie. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Who are you and what do you do?
I'll
Go
go
ahead,
first.
Iris.
Okay. So my name is Iris Medina. I am the Customer Service Relations Manager at Lumos Learning. I work very closely with our schools and our parent customers, along with our internal teams at Lumos, to help provide the best solutions and experiences for our customers.
Thank you so much, Iris. And how about you, Bonnie?
Hi, and thanks. My name is Bonnie McRae. I'm a retired school administrator and educator for over 45 years. I've only retired about 5 times because I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I've taught everything from kindergarten through college, and I have a daughter who's now in her 40s who is described as emotionally disturbed during her teenage years. I am quite familiar with all of the ADA compliance requirements and especially the needs of all students, those with special needs and the regular population as well. I came on board about 5 years ago, and I said I would only join the company if the material and content were something that I would have wanted in my own schools.
So Lumos Learning is an educational company that provides engaging learning resources to improve students' achievements on state assessments. As well, it also helps students master critical skills and to also reinforce what's being taught in school by the teachers. It provides something that's really special, which is individualized, targeted um, study plans for student based on their specific needs. So every student is treated with their own study plan that provides what they need in order to address any learning gaps that they might have.
I love that. Thank you so much, Iris, for sharing that and for letting us know all of the great things that Lumos is offering right now. I think everyone at some point needs that one on one kind of help with school. So the fact that Lumos has so many different ways in which they help people and children and adults one on one with things that they need help studying with and in school, I think is great. Could you tell us a bit about the summer slash COVID slide?
Certainly. We all know that during the summer, quite often, any and all students may have a learning loss. Usually it's up to 2 to 3 months. However, with this recent school closures and the COVID pandemic, the scare that has been put into most of our students has caused them, research believes, to have a learning loss of up to 6 months. Lumos Learning has developed digital online resources to help teachers and students and parents combat this learning loss. We have now developed and added what we call a back to school refresher program as well. In this back to school refresher program, teachers will identify the students from the standards in the previous grade level. They will be assigned lessons and assessments and then automatically be reinforced with any learning gaps that could have occurred, thus bringing the students on to grade level. We have added Google Classroom connections for all of our lessons as well for teachers who need to teach remotely, and they can create their own Zoom accounts, or they could use GoToMeeting as well. Many of our features can be used by teachers, by parents, by administrators, and the students.
I love that. Thank you so much for providing that explanation of summer slash COVID slide, Bonnie. Uh, what are learning gaps and how do you identify them?
A learning gap occurs when a student should learn their content or specific standard on one particular grade level, and for some reason, it can be that the student may not have been paying attention, the student may have been out ill, under emotional stress. It could be that the teacher wasn't aware that the student did not have that. Your transitional students going from one classroom to another, your inclusion students, all of these relate to whether or not a student might suffer a gap in their learning, so that when the next year approaches and their standard should be on level, the student is missing a particular part of that previous grade level standard. So what Lumos does is automatically identify those learning gaps and fill in the gaps with additional resources and activities and lessons and assessments for the student.
That's amazing. And actually, I was gonna ask something else, but I'm gonna save that until the end. How did your program address the needs of each unique student?
The students really are identified. The teacher can make a decision. He or she cannot assign lessons to the whole class, to a small group, or to individual students based on that student's assessment needs. And then we have individualized programs for each student. So in essence, the student has their own IEP plan, regardless of whether or not they have a special needs. They follow their own learning at their own pace, their own rate. We even have a pause button where a student can stop a lesson if he or she does not have enough time and resume back that lesson later. And our program helps to keep those students on track with their learning. Reports are essential for teachers. Our program has those designed as well, easily understood by parents also. And also when you're considering your accessibility features, I failed to mention we have multiple accommodations available for our students. We do have an ADA compliance, federal compliance plan in place. We're focusing basically right now on the students because that is our greatest need. And then we will be adding teacher features or adult features for our teacher portal and administrative page for ADA compliance accessibility, and as well as our main portal page in our website. We do have text to speech for students in all of our programs. So if that might be an accommodation for them or a modification, we have that, as well as changing the background color for highlighting purposes. Students may highlight any of their text. We have the zoom in for a larger print if the students need that requirement, reversing contrast. And we've also now added what we consider answer eliminator, where the student has the capability of to be given hints to understand that some answers won't even be correct. So it helps them with their lessons as well. Now, these features can be for a student with any disability on an IEP plan, whether it be the special education program or 504, but it can also be available to all students as well. In fact, last week and the week before, I was in webinars with the United States Department of Education Assistant Dr. Frank Brogan, and he interviewed superintendents from around the country who emphasized that their distance learning is working well because they have treated all students during this period of time and in the future as being able to have these special features with their programs.
I think that that is so important. A lot of the time when you hear IEP, the word IEP, you think special education and you think that that's the only way that you're able to get an IEP. That's so important that you mentioned that, you don't have to be in special education or need that level of support in order to have an individualized education program. Could you tell people exactly what an IEP is, and maybe there are two um, different ways to describe it because there's always the
It's
way
an
that
individual education plan. And basically what happens, and this began, of course, with FERPA and the free education for students. Basically, an IEP means that each individual student is treated based on their needs. Whether it be they need special modifications, sometimes students need things read out loud to them. so they can better understand, depending on their learning style. They may need more colors, they may need more tactical material as well. So an IEP is really an individual plan for each student. And as we were talking about before, really, this should be for all students, regardless if they're in a special program. So that's what Lumos does provide for all students, which I think is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I just want to say
I had
something
a
on that.
question. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just
No
wanted to
worries.
go back on that because I work very closely with schools, and there are schools that actually, when they enroll in our program, want the IEP or the accommodations turned on for all their students. It's not
Mhm.
this student, yes, this student, every student gets it. So it is something that's becoming more common today.
I think that lends great to the idea of the accessible bathroom. So when I think about um, putting accessibility features on for everyone instead of choosing who needs it and who doesn't, I think about an accessible bathroom. So if we just made all bathrooms accessible, everyone can use it. I mean, who doesn't want more space in the bathroom when you're
Right?
using it? So it's like if you make everything accessible, make a bathroom accessible, then everyone can use it. If you make it too small or you make it standard size, then it's kind of like exclusive in that kind of way.
Yes.
Making accessibility available accessibility features available for everyone lends to the idea of inclusion. So I really am happy to hear that you all have, teachers out there and schools out there who want to use the features and take advantage of the features, even if they feel or their students feel like they don't really need it. Everyone needs accessibility at some point.
Absolutely.
Yes. So the next question would be, what is the expected time commitment when you talk about Lumos learning and things like
So,
that?
with our summer program, we expect that students are on there about 20 to 30 minutes a day, which provides daily exercises in math and ELA and weekly exercises for for reading, for vocabulary, and for writing. Then we have our program that we use throughout the academic year, which we usually recommend about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay, I think
It
that's great.
also will depend on each individual school. Some schools, the students don't get to have computer access in the classroom and go to computer classes still. They're not ready for one-on-one yet. So in those kind of situations, I've worked with a lot of schools where I have helped them set up their own pacing charts. And parents who work with their children at home, whether it be homeschooling or extra tutorials, often ask questions in that nature as well. So then we recommend no more than 45 minutes every other day. Because if you put a child on a computer for an excessive amount of time, there is not a learning gain. There will become a decrease in learning. And then they'll have the tendency to what we refer to in education as click the button, where they just mark answers and they don't check what they're doing. So we really work hard with our schools to make sure that they're using the program to the best of their needs and their capabilities.
Something that I'm noticing while talking to you all is I noticed that it's a fully collaborative process with you all, with Lumos Learning, with the parents, with the educators, and as well with the students. That is a great segue into my next question, which is your program intended for independent use or is it parental support required?
So we do. The program can be used and is intended for students to be able to work independently. But we do keep if it's purchased by the parent, we do like to keep the parents informed so they can actually actively see what's going on with their child and how they're progressing, as well with the school. So if the school is using the program and students are doing assignments at home as well, It is meant for them to be able to work on it independently, but again, keeping the parent and the educator also informed. We do provide assignments that are structured and organized with study plans to help them complete their assignments so they know exactly what needs to be completed at each stage of the process.
I think that's great. Thank you so much for, I think, explaining it so well. And I think also, although Lumos is known for giving the support to the children, it sounds to me like the parents also have that support as well. Something that I noticed, spending some time with my mom and my little sisters over this quarantine slash pandemic, my mom used to come down on herself a lot in terms of like how my sisters were adapting to the virtual and online learning. So maybe I will even tell her about Lumos Learning and just tell her to sign up because it sounds to me like not only are the children getting that support, but the parents as well. So that makes me so happy that this resource is out there. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Um, so the next question would actually be, what is guided practice?
So, guided practice is an environment where students get to practice specific types of questions. An example could be multi-step problems, where the program actually breaks the question down and provides hints for the students to answer the questions. We don't just give an answer. The students can continue to practice until they have actually mastered the skills.
I love that. And are there like different levels of the guided practice, or is it just one type of guided practice?
We do have different levels. We do have different topics related both to ELA and to math. And the idea is to be able to give enough practice and experience for the students to be able to master that actual skill.
Okay.
And basically what guided practice does is it's usually used in a classroom after a teacher has taught the content. Then either the teacher works with the students to come up with the correct answers. So our guided practice gives the student the opportunity for that practice. And then they're ready for independent practice, which is practice on their own with the lessons.
That's great. Thank you so much for that. What is the Lumos? I'm so sorry.
That's okay, honey.
What? How does the Lumos assistant work?
So the Lumos Assistant is an intelligent conversational system that actually provides a guided step-by-step process to help students master standards in math and ELA. So like a teacher, like what Bonnie was just mentioning, the Lumos Assistant carefully learns from the student's proficiency data and simplifies the user's experience and offers and provides lessons that are precisely tailored for that specific student needs at that time. So it's guided, structured environment where the student is constantly receiving his or her personalized, individualized, targeted plan.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm actually reaching out to my mom right now because my nephew is being so loud in the background. I'm so sorry for anyone who watches this. I actually think that we said this question already. And if parents wanted to find your program, where and how can they do that?
So they can actually go to our website, the www.lumoslearning.com. There you will find all the different products and learning materials that we have for our schools as well as our parents. And certainly we do have an email that you can actually reach out to us, or a phone number where you can give us a call, and we would be more than happy to help provide the information that you need.
Yes. So these are actually direct links that I'm putting up for other things that you all have. So this one is the Summer Fun um, webpage that you all have. Could you tell us a bit about that? I know that it's the same website. Obviously, the website where they would find out more information is Lumos Learning, but the Summer Fun one is exactly what?
So the Summer Fun one is actually for our summer learning program that actually bridges the current grade and the grade where the student is moving on to. So it's if the student's in seventh, leaving seventh grade, it's a program that will provide the student some resources to practice seventh grade and create a bridge moving on to the next grade, which is eighth. So it's a really great, fun program to use, actually. It has some games and it's very interactive.
Okay.
What I like about the summer program too as well, you can use the workbooks or the online version, depending upon what the parent or school may be interested in. But what I like about it is it's short, because students during the summer don't need a long time sitting in front of a computer or a long time with a workbook. So it's short little mini lessons and mini practices with the grade that they were coming from to proceed them to the next grade. It even has funny little jokes and activities built in throughout, so the kids don't get bored and tired of it either. So I think it's a very unique book and online program.
And not only and just to kind of follow up on that, all our products, so our resources are, we do have and provide the printed materials for those that rather work with the printed resources, but we do have all of our products online as well. So we do provide both.
And I actually think that I missed a question here that I don't see. What what is the price for to join Lumos Learning? Is it free? What's the price?
You want to talk about that, Bonnie?
No, because you're going to talk about it. No, I talk about the school pricing we have for schools. Iris is our main parent person, although all of us work with parents when they need us. Mainly, I work with schools. So we have pricing per pupil. All teachers and administrators are free. Our training is free, and our support throughout the year is free. We also have pricing for site licensing, say for the larger schools that may have such a large number of over 600 to 700 students at one campus. We give a major discounted rate for that pricing. So it's generally around $14.95 a student for individual student license. And then our pricing is $3,500 for one subject and $6,000 for both subjects for site licensing up to 600 students for ELA and math.
Okay.
So it's very reasonable. And we also work within school budgets. And I know that the parent pricing is totally different. Now, teachers can also just purchase online just for their own classroom. They can do it that way as well, just depending on their need. They contact us and we work with them. We also offer free demos to schools, and in various situations, we do pilot programs to get the interest level built up so that people can see the success rates.
Okay. I think that's great. And again, if they wanted to join the program and to purchase plans, they would visit obviously lumoslearning.com. I see that you all also offer free worksheets on your website as well for every subject?
First up,
In ELA and math.
Okay.
they can download free worksheets. They can actually download a free account if they wanted to have like a
Yes.
trial version, use it, get familiarized with it, and decide. So it's available for both schools and parents. For the parents, it is also very affordable, and we do encourage for those that are interested to go to our website, download the free online account so they can see what our program provides and the resources that we have.
Now, the free accounts, people do need to understand that they are only a sampling. Quite often I get calls from teachers who signed up for a free account and they're like, well, it doesn't show everything. Well, of course not, but it is a sampling of our test items and our lessons. So it gives a good idea for the teacher and a good practice if they're not able to afford. And we offer those free for all teachers all year.
And for the parents as well.
As well, yes.
Okay. And if anyone has any questions, they can email you at this email, correct?
Yep, they can email us here at the support@lumoslearning.com, or they can give us a call. And
Okay.
and I think you displayed the number. No, there it is. 888-309-8227.
Okay. And yeah, so I think that, like I said, I think that this is a really important topic to talk about, and just to have to support not only children but adults through this transition phase that the world is facing right now. And I think education is a huge part of that. So what Lumos Learning, I think, is doing is so necessary, and so um, we hope that people learn about you all and support you all through this video when we do post it. So thank you so much to Bonnie and Iris for joining us again for this video, and we hope that you all enjoy it.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
asking us, and we appreciate the opportunity to work with y'all. Have a great day.
Of course. You too.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.